Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Parallax Abstraction, and welcome to another brief episode of the Geek Bravado Ramble. It is Friday, May 23rd, 2014. It is 10:30 at night, and I wasn't going to actually record anything about this because I kind of figured what did it ultimately really matter, but I decided I wanted to do that anyway. If you follow YouTube at all, you probably know who TotalBiscuit is. You've seen me reference him in Geek Bravado blog posts before. And I've talked about him before, and I've talked about some of the inspiration he's been to me, and I've also used him as an example of how potentially not to engage with some of the worst elements of the internet. Various different capacities, but as was... well, initially revealed a little while ago, he had what appeared to be a cancerous mass in, well, his rectum, unfortunately. And he was supposed to go in to have surgery to get that removed. And he went in to get it removed, and they found out it's actually a little bit worse than they thought. And he's actually got very early stage, proper hell-ass cancer. And at least from what he's saying, it doesn't look like it's too severe. He's going to have to take, I guess, pill-based chemotherapy, which is still pretty terrible, but not as bad as it could be. And he's going to have another surgery to remove this. But prognosis apparently is pretty good. They did catch it early enough. But he's been making a big point about how people really need to go in and get tested for stuff because he waited way too long. And even though this could have been a lot worse, it's a lot worse than it could have been if he'd have gotten it checked out sooner. And, well, that's good advice. I mean, I can only repeat that. You know, if you think there's something wrong with you, you should probably go get it dealt with, especially in places in Canada like where I live where, you know, our medical system isn't perfect, but stuff like that, it's free. So do it. Anyway, it's gotten me thinking just a little bit, as well as another thing he put up on Twitlonger just a little while ago, which I'm actually going to link to in the blog post that accompanies this video. And I've come to realize I've been watching TotalBiscuit for a while. I think I started in January of 2013, possibly earlier than that. I wasn't really following gaming video other than Giant Bomb. And I discovered him, I don't even remember how, actually. But I really, really liked him and his style and his format. And initially, I really liked how engaged he was with his fans. And I've been watching him ever since. I don't know how many hours and terabytes of data I have spent watching his videos. I watch virtually everything he puts up, except his Hearthstone and Dota stuff, because I'm just not into either of those things. And I really, really like it. I think he's one of the better personalities out there. I think his popularity is well-deserved, unlike some other much more popular people. I think he does a really good job. And I'll be honest with you, he is a good chunk of the reason I started doing the YouTube stuff that I am doing now. I really liked what he was doing, and I needed another hobby and some kind of creative outlet in some form. And I didn't just want to copy what he was doing outright, especially because there's 1,000,000,001 people out there talking about new games from the review or first impressions perspective, such as he does. So I thought, well, hey, I like retro games a lot. I used to be a huge retro game collector, which is something that almost ruined me financially, so I had to get out of it. But I still like them, and I never really had a venue to talk about them. Most of my friends are not into them. So I was like, I wonder if there's a way I could incorporate that. So that's what got me to start doing Retro Flashback, which, I mean, you can see the format similarities between that and WTF is are almost identical. And he's the reason for that. He's the reason I chose to start it. And I like doing it so much that despite the fact that my YouTube channel has no popularity whatsoever, and that, you know, frankly, the amount of views I get doesn't justify the effort, I do it anyway because I really, really like it. And you know, he's very lucky that he makes probably a very nice living off of it. I don't, but I don't want to either. But he's the reason I'm doing it. You know, if my first exposure to YouTube video was something like PewDiePie, I probably just would have said, no, not for me. but he showed me what you could do with it. And I think that's a big deal. And it's had a very big impact on my life. He has been talking recently about some of the mental issues that he suffers with, that he's probably going to need help with, things that are causing him to absorb too much of the negative feedback he gets from the scum of the internet and how it affects him. I've talked about this in a previous blog post. And I'm one of the people who is not ashamed to say that I suffer from depression and anxiety as well. My now approaching 2-month-old unemployment has been making that readily apparent lately. And I have a lot of respect for the fact that he, despite being very popular and despite the fact that everything he says opens him up to attack by assholes, as is a big problem with so many other people, I've always respected the fact that despite being a very popular guy who has no reason to be as open about his life as he is very open about his life, which I try to be as well. I've been debating how much I want to do that because it is the internet and I don't know if I want to expose myself to that too much. But I see him do it and it helps make the thought of doing it a little bit easier. I do believe that one of the reasons I love Giant Bomb so much as well is because those guys put themselves out there, and they don't talk about every aspect of their life, but they talk about a lot. And, with Vinny Caravella leaving the San Francisco office of Giant Bomb this week and other things like that, it's really got me thinking about how much they mean to me. You saw I did a blog post and a video companion when Ryan Davis passed away last year. That was a really, really bad time, and that actually set my depression off in a pretty big way. And this isn't a thing about me, but it's to say that was the level of impact that he had for me and a lot of other people. And to be honest, I'm becoming to realize that people like TotalBiscuit, I lump into that. I don't know him. I don't consider him a friend. But he's someone who has a big impact on my day-to-day life and whose content and personality has helped me through some very, very, and continues to help me through some very, very difficult times. And, if this was some other random celebrity who came out and said, hey, I have cancer and I need to get treated, I'd probably go, that's too bad, and move on with my life, as most people would do. But when I see it happen to a certain core group of people, him among them, it stings, and it makes me worry, and it makes me go, oh man, what is this going to do to him? And it's not just worry in the sense of, oh geez, how is this going to impact the content I like? I'm going to have to go find some other YouTuber. It's not that. It's that that's the thing. I don't want to find someone else. I like him and I like what he does and I want to stick with him. And there's been he's been involved in a lot of controversy, and I've said in my previous blog post about dealing with the internet reality, a lot of that is stuff he brought on himself. But where I really respect him is that he all but admits that. He all but says he's got himself into a lot of his own battles that he probably didn't need to. And he's backed off of that quite a bit, and he's seen where the problem is. And that's more than a lot of other people would do. That's more than a lot of people I have previously criticized on this blog, some of whom are call themselves journalists, some of whom are inexplicably large figures within this industry, is more than any of them would do. And there's a big thing to be said for that. So I'm sure he's getting a lot of support out there, but I just wanted to say, TotalBiscuit, John, if you happen to see this, best of luck, man. I know you're going to pull through it just fine. As you've said yourself, you're a stubborn son of a bitch. So I think you're going to pull it off just fine. And I look forward to you doing more stuff. And I just wanted to say that, I'm not the first person who's told you that you were an inspiration, but it's true. This YouTube channel and the content that I make, popular or not though it may be, you are what got me interested in doing it, and you're a big part of the reason I continue to do it and continue to try to evolve. And I don't know if I'll ever be as good at this as you are, but I like to think I'm getting a little bit better every time, and you're the inspiration for that. So you have had a bigger impact than maybe you realize on a lot of people. I know you like to keep the barrier, and you say, you know, I make content, you watch it, I'm not your friend, and I totally understand that. And I don't know you from Adam. I've never met you. I may never, but you have had an impact on my life, whether you know it or not, and it's been a positive one, and it's one that has helped me through and will continue to help me through some very difficult times. And I empathize with a lot of what you're dealing with, because it's something I've had to go through as well. So best of luck, man. I know you're gonna pull out of it, and I wish you and Jenna and the rest of your family very, 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 very well. And I hope I hope you kick the son of a bitch soon, because fuck cancer, am I right? Damn right. All right, guys. Well, I said this is going to be a bit of a shorter one, and it is. I just wanted to put that out there. Just wanted to add my voice to the chorus of people who were thinking about TotalBiscuit, and wanted to wish him the best. So, yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you next time.